What's up, guys? We are continuing with day 4 of Creating 2019. We just went live with Terry Cole, an exceptional, amazing person that is up to so much magic in this world, sharing and creating more love, elevating the love in people's hearts. Now, I'm going live with one of my dear soul sisters, dear friend, someone who I love really so much because of who she's been in my life. And we're going to be jamming on a very interesting topic. How can you be grateful for it all and the importance of slowing down? And I'm going to let her introduce herself. I see that she is already here. And we're about to jam with this gorgeous queen. It says I can't bring you online. Maryse, can you send me a request? Send me a request to go live. It says I can't bring you live. We've been having some technical difficulties in other interviews as well. Thank you so much for being... Here we go. Thank you so much for being flexible and patient. And this is one that you do not want to miss. It says adding. Let's see if it goes through. Let's see. Hello, Valerie. What's up, Christopher? So many awesome people. Let's see what's going on. So yes, we are jamming on how can we be grateful for it all and the importance of slowing down to really take it in, to really take all of it in. Sometimes we're racing for the guest declined the live video invitation. Okay. Maryse, can you jump off and jump back on? Not sure what's happening. But sometimes we tend to really want to get there fast. And we forget that this is the moment that counts, this moment. But some of us are in such a rush to get there that we forget it takes time. And the more you can be present, the more you can be grateful for it all. What's up, Chris? Hey, Adam. The more you can be grateful for all of it and really center yourself and slowing down so that you don't miss anything, so that you don't miss any of it, and really take it in. I promise you that you are going to elevate what's next. Thank you so much, Adam. I'm loving these series too. I think they've been so powerful and so real and so potent. There we go.
It's bound to happen.
Of course. It's happened before. Now, do you have one? So we can let you go.
Hello. Better?
Yes.
Perfect.
So much better. Wow. So I was talking a little bit about our topic, but before I go there, I want you to introduce yourself, who you are, what you're about. I already jammed on how special you are to me and how much I love you. This woman is like all grace. I mean, if you just see her walking,
You're so silly.
She's like regal. She's like floating down the street. I'm like, girl. But who are you? What do you do? What are you about?
Who am I? I'm just a person who gets to be used and served the way you do. But that being said, I am a holistic healer, and I work with people in rebalancing their chakras or seeing what it is that sometimes we just need to let go of and move past so that we can really live in our highest. If that makes sense.
Total sense and so needed. And she's like a witch in certain ways.
We
She will
manifest.
pull
We do manifest quite.
her crystals and clear your shit
This is
out.
also true.
But how you hold space is what really, because I'm also like this master space holder, but I see it in you too. The way you hold space, it's with such compassion and love and grace, and it really gives people the space to unfold. And that's what I love about
Thank you.
One of the things I love about you. So let's jam.
Okay.
Let's jam. The topic that we chose today, so again, I've been telling people that I have been reaching out to the speakers on the day of, and I have been asking them a question. And this has like, my assistant has been going crazy because she's such a like pre-planner, and we've done that in the past, but I really wanted it to be organic, and I really wanted it to touch on the thing that is most present in the hearts of the experts. So we arrived at the importance of slowing down, and most importantly, how can you be grateful for it all? So let's jam. What does this mean to you? Why is it on your heart?
Well, let's see. So a few things, right? I was laughing at myself. Well, that's my greatest teacher is like my daughter and myself. Like if you can't laugh at yourself, just relax and take a breath. It's just way more fun when you can, right? And I was laughing at myself because on New Year's Eve, I brought it in with my family. That's what we love to do. We love to bring it in together, and it's beautiful, right? So I was with my family, we brought it in, and on the way home, my mom is like, "Hey, do you?" I also teach, right? So I'll have clients. I teach. I do a little bit of everything. And she was like, "Do you have anything scheduled for the morning?" And I was like, "No, I don't think so." And then just before, she was like, "You sure?" And I was like, I don't know. So then I looked on the calendar, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have a 6 a.m. on a Wednesday. Like this is crazy. But I was like, but it was okay. But I was like, that's all right. Great. Glad that I know. I went to bed, set the alarm, was ready to go, got up. And as I'm driving in the morning, I'm just like, this just doesn't make sense. Something about this isn't gelling. And I heard this voice that was like, pull over. And so I'm pulling over, and I'm like, okay, now what? And I'm looking at my calendar, and my calendar is like, yeah, Wednesday, 6 a.m. You got this appointment. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And I'm like, what am I missing? And then it dawns on me that it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. It's not Wednesday. And I just had to laugh the whole way back home at like 5 something in the morning. I'm laughing, going, wow, I'm literally 5 hours into the new year, and I'm already a day ahead. And I work with people like, how do we slow down? How do we become present? How do we just like experience this moment? And here I am, like already on January 2nd when it's literally 5 hours into January 1st. And I was like, okay, great. Perfect lesson. Slow down. Like, can we be, especially this time of year, right? It's so easy to get caught up because everybody has this like extra fire and fuel as to what's going to get accomplished, and like, we're starting anew, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and then it's like, yeah, but we're focusing so far out there that we're missing right here, right now. And and that to me is like where the gem is, right? That's the jewel. Like, is it great if you're in communication with somebody and you're on your phone, or if you're like with them right here, right now, in this moment where y'all can feel each other? And so it was just a perfect reminder, and it just resonated. So I just had to share it with everybody. Like, yeah, we're going to slow down. We're going to slow down. Yes, I got it. There are goals, there are expectations. Set the bar high. Do what you want to do. Have fun. And can we really work on being in this moment, like right here, right now? And it could be so simple, right? It could be as simple as like, yeah, I think I'm just going to take 3 breaths before I get out of this car and feel my body as as you inhale, as you exhale. Like something that simple will bring us right back into the moment. And oftentimes we just miss like what's right there. So.
And I love what you're saying. And when we talked about it earlier this morning, you left me in a thought. It's the 11th of January. And I'm posing this question to all of you, even the people on the replay. And if you're on the replay, #replay, let us know who you are. Also, please share this video. We are trying to really get to as many hearts as possible, so they dream bigger and utilize all these amazing tools that these experts are sharing. And whoever shares the most, I will be gifting them a session with me on strategizing and intuitively reading what this year is going to be about for you. But back to my thought. When we talked, it left me in a question like, wait a minute, this is so powerful. It's January 11th. How many times have we complained already? How many times have we judged ourselves already? How many times have we been critical of others already? And I pose this question to all of you, not to make you feel bad. Nope, that's not what we're doing. But to really bring that reminder that this is the time to override that default pattern, that we're not good, feeling good about ourselves, that projection we put out into the world. And I got really present to the times that I've complained.
Yeah.
And it's already 11. And I've complained several times.
Right, I've voiced it quite a few myself.
So this is a beautiful reminder for people to check in and utilize this New Year power to override the bullshit and get super focused and intentional about what you want. So let's dive in deeper. How can we be grateful for it all?
Yeah, well, you know, and that's what I was like, what I was sharing with you this morning, and I'll just share with them really quickly, is that, you know, Trinity, she's my 7-year-old daughter, and she is like,
love her so much.
Yeah. You do. I know you do. She is just truly one of my greatest teachers. She has been her whole life. Oh my gosh, there's countless stories about how much she's taught me. But every morning when we drive to school, we do this process of she shares with me at least three things that she's grateful for, and I share with her what I'm grateful for. And then for the last like month or two, consistently, she's like, I'm grateful for me. And I'm like, cool. And I'm like, babe, what does that mean for you? And she's like, how God made me. And I was just blown away. Like at 7, she's sitting there telling me like that's one thing she's grateful for who she is as she is. Right? She's not like, oh, once I score 100 on my test, or once I make it onto that team, or once I score a goal, or once I, you know, like, yes, have our goals, absolutely. But to be grateful for who we are right now, right? With the resolutions. And like on my Facebook timeline, I'm not sure what they're hinting at, but it's like, there's this cleanse for me, there's this exercise for me, there's, you know, it's like, do I want to try this meal plan challenge, and do I want to try this? And I'm like, okay, I got you, Facebook, I got you. But that's what, you know, this time of year, everybody's got their resolutions. And even without this time of year, like how often do we sit there and say, once this has happened, or once, you know, I've got this under control, or once my finances are here, or once, you know, I've lost X amount of weight, then I'm going to be, you know, at peace, or then I'm going to be ready for X, Y, and Z. But how much liberation is there if we can stop and go, you know what, right now, I'm so grateful. Right now, right in this moment right here, I am so grateful. Even, especially if you're in the challenges. Because can we realize at somewhere in our core, can we realize and go, I know this challenge is here for my growth. So can I even sit here and go, okay, I'm grateful for this too. You know, and just notice and just realize like how perfect it all is, how perfect we are just as we are right here, right now, you know. How our situations, how everything is like, you know, there's sometimes when things, you know, I laugh, like I got this letter I shared with you from the IRS like last year, and I was like, okay, God, this one's on you completely. I'm not gonna even pretend like I know this one. Like, you got this, and you just tell me where to go, and I'm gonna move accordingly. And that's what I did, and accordingly everything worked itself out, right? Because you're guided in this place, in this place, in this place, and it all works itself out. But oftentimes we forget it in the challenges, right? Oftentimes when we're in the midst of, yeah, that's fine and dandy for you, but you don't know what I'm going through. That's when it's so important to sit there and go, and this is perfect too, you know?
I love that, because there's a lot of people that are starting the year in jobs that they don't like, or maybe they love their job, but the boss is being pain in the ass, or they're just simply not happy with certain aspects of their lives. And the more we bring love into those areas,
absolutely.
the more we bring appreciation and gratitude, as you say, into those specific areas, that's the practice.
Yeah.
That's the practice that's going to elevate your vibration, that's going to transmute their shit, if whatever it is. But you're going to start seeing this person with compassion, or that situation with compassion, and really take it in like, oh, this is happening for me.
Yeah.
This is my teacher.
Yeah.
This situation is my teacher.
Yeah, it's so true. I was just sharing with someone yesterday, I can't even remember, that after I had Trinity, I got into this job because I was like, I suddenly thought I had to leave broadcast, and I did. And then I was like, wait, how am I going to, I have a child. Like, what am I going to do for money? And I got into this job, and it was really easy money. And, someone, and then there was a person who was put there, and I swear I was like, why is this person here in my life? Like, da 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 da. But accordingly, it just made me one day go, yeah, but I'm not happy, and it's not this person's fault. It's because there's something else for me. And I kept hearing back then, like, right? And I kept hearing back then, like, I just kept sitting and visualizing, because I believe God's very funny. Like, I just can't wait for the day, and we're just going to sit down and laugh. And I just kept thinking, like, I could just imagine when my time has come and I'm like chatting along with God. And, all I kept hearing was God going, you think I gave you all those gifts so you could be manager of a store? Like, that's what you thought I did? And don't get me wrong, like, that's an awesome job for somebody. It's just not what calls to my heart. Right. And so I was just there like, why am I settling for anything that is not fulfilling my heart? And so I upped and left, and I decided to like trust and walk in a path that I've never walked before, and started my own business, not as something on the side while I held down like everything else. I gave me my 401k, my security, and my, like, I was like, oh, I'm going to really step off this cliff right now, and let's see if these wings are strong, but it really was, it was just such an awakening of like, yeah, so all these situations, like, had I not had that interaction with that person that made me just like I couldn't sleep at night, and I just was restless, and I would never have been like, yeah, enough is enough. And I needed that. At that time. It's what I needed. Now I hear other voices inside of me, and I can go and call and move. But at that time, I so needed that, because otherwise it was really easy. It was easy for me to sit there, and the people were amazing. What I was doing was amazing. But deep inside, I knew there was a different calling, and I wasn't following it. So I needed an interruption, and that person was just my interruption. And after that person has reached out to me. We've had great conversations. And I just like, I sit there and I go, wow, it was purely for that moment. It was for that moment in time so that I could move to what was next for me.
So powerful, because oftentimes we vilify those people.
Right.
And we make them the bad guy in our story. And we're like, fuck them and this, that. And we like center ourselves into that victim state of like, they're the bad ones. But when you really see the bigger picture, that this person is playing a role that you called them on a spiritual level to that role, that is the gift.
That really is. Yeah.
And we need to start looking at those messengers as our gift, our medicine to move us forward. I think what you're saying is so powerful, because it's so true.
It reminds me of during my pregnancy when you gave me radical forgiveness. Like, I was going through it. I was going through it with just situations in my life. But when you gave me that book, I was like, it gave me peace, because I was letting myself just be a victim, because it was so easy. It was so easy to sit there and go, well, da 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 da, like, here I am, like, I'm a pregnant woman, everybody look at, I wasn't shouting from the rooftops, but inside that's how I felt, right? And then I read Radical Forgiveness, and when I got that, like, yeah, like you just said, soul to soul connection, like realizing that this was a pact that was made way before, and they're just being a stand for me. Now, I may not remember it right now, but holding on to that, whether you want to believe that or not, like whether you want to take that as truth or not, it's the fact is that, well, I don't know if it's a fact or not, but the point is that at the end of the day, if you can find something that's going to empower you to to feel better about it, right? So it's like all of a sudden in that one belief that I chose to take on, I was like, great. So this person who I've been vilifying actually is so dear to me, soul to soul wise. They actually are fulfilling their end of something so I can have a breakthrough. And gosh, thank you for that. And I did transform. Like you know,
I cried like a baby with that book.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
Because I really got the soul contrast.
Yeah.
And how the people that we perceive are causing us pain are actually the messengers we assigned.
Right.
To play a very intricate role in our awakening, in
Yeah.
our expansion, right? Like this is all designed by me for me, and they're playing the role. And the fact that they're playing that role means that they love you so much.
Yeah.
I was crying a little bit.
And I'm not gonna lie though. I'm not gonna lie. There's some, like, when you're in it, sometimes it's not always easy to sit there and go, "Oh, right, this person's playing a role right now." But if we can just pause and remove and go, right, this person who I'm not really feeling right now. And I love what you just said, that we assigned that role to them. Like, you know, that this was our, like, it's, you know, because I can picture myself going, hey, so will you stand for me no matter what? I can see myself, like, no matter what, I'm going to be angry. I might be nasty, but will you hold your position so that I can reinvent myself until I have the breakthrough that's waiting for me on the other side? And I know I don't like to. And like for the people in my life, like Trinity did something the other day at school, and she needed to feel it, and I knew she had to feel it, but every part of me wanted me to go, baby, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. But she had to feel like the impact of what she had done, right? And in doing so, like, she learned this great lesson. But the point is that I wanted to make it better, and I didn't. I let her sit with herself and be with herself, and there's something that happens, and it's hard when you love somebody to sit there and not make it better. So when I think about, you know, these people that maybe we've assigned, you know, hey, like, before we ever came down here, going, hey, you make sure I have this breakthrough, okay? And for them to love us and sit there and go, okay, no matter what, like, can you imagine how hard that must be? Like, to sit there and go, gosh, this person who I love hates me right now, but I'm going to be the stand for them.
It's tough, and it reminds me of this thing that we say in the leadership programs that we've done together, how that type of stand is actually true love. Right. When you jump in to help out, you're enabling that person, because you are not holding them capable of having that. It's keeping them small. So sometimes the biggest stand, and we do it with kids, we do it with babies when they're learning how to walk, we let them have it. And when they fall, we hold space for them to get back up and try again. And sometimes that is the most powerful gift you can give people, to hold them so capable of their breakthroughs and send them love and hold space for them to really get it.
Yeah, that's powerful. Yeah, because otherwise we're just keeping them small. We're just like, oh, I don't think you really can do this, and whatever it is. So yeah, there's that too. And yeah, and so you're right, like that you know, that's why you're one of my dearest friends, right? Like, I know no matter what, you will always be honest with me. You will always keep it 100. And so you're not going to tell me what I want to hear. And I know I'm a nice person, and a lot of people love me. And so sometimes they're just like, but before I can finish the sentence, you'll be like, no, you're doing it again. Like, what are you doing? No. What do you know? You know what that's about? And I'm like, well, yeah, you know, I'm kind of recreating what it is. And you're like, yeah, okay, good. I'm glad you got to the bottom of that, you know? But otherwise, it's so easy, right? It's so easy sometimes. And I think that's why it's so important, also, the people that we have around us, right? For people to also keep in mind that too.
Beautiful. What would you say to people that are in the contrast right now? How can they step into that gratitude? What steps can you give them, or what tools can you give them to really start looking at the contrast as medicine?
The contrast as medicine, meaning, like, if things aren't necessarily, like, it's easy to be grateful when everything's working for you, but when sometimes it may not seem like it's though it is working for you, it doesn't feel like it's working for you, those moments. Um, what can we do? I think I would, well, what I do automatically right away is first I just give thanks. So I start that every day. I just start by giving thanks. So I think about whatever it is that puts a smile on my face. I think about my recent events, paths, whatever it is, whether it be my family, Trinity. Like Trinity is usually like the first thing I think of because she just puts a smile to my face and warms my heart. So she kind of always bursts my fourth chakra like this. Like I think of Trinity and I'm like, oh, okay, oh, the world's a little brighter right now. Um, and then to be grateful. And then I start going down the things that I'm grateful for, you know, whatever it might be, the roof of my head, you know, depending on how bad it is, sometimes we've got to start with the basics, right? But then I keep building. And then from there, I just keep building and building and building until it does get to the point of where I get into the challenges. And then when I get into the challenges, sitting there going, okay, I get that this is a lesson for me, like acknowledging that too. And if it feels, like I said, with this IRS situation, for those, well, from none of you know, I only share it with like a few people, but all of a sudden I had forgotten something. I forgot something on my taxes, and they were like, "Oh, great, you owe $10,000," and I was like, "I'm sorry," and they were like, "Yeah, you've got a month to pay it." I was like, "Pardon?" Like, you know, and I'm
Come
come
again.
come again. Like you know, I'm so, you know, I'm so diligent about things, and I couldn't believe that I had forgotten, you know, this crucial bit of information. And I was just overwhelmed and I was panicked and I was like, I don't know, but I just started laughing. And my mom was there and I was looking at the mail and she was like, what's funny? And I was like, the IRS wants $10,000 in a month, and I'm just, it's gonna get figured out. I'm not sure just right now how that's happening, but it'll happen. And then sure enough, it's like first I wanted to crawl, right? So I wanted to hide, I wanted to avoid, I wanted to not deal. Thank God it's the IRS. I was like, oh, let me not play with them. Like they're not somebody who I should probably ignore too much. But because oftentimes how easy is that, right? Like if something we don't like, it's so easy to be like, I'll do that later. I'll do that later, right? But can we actually be with it? Can we sit there and be with it and go, okay, all right, so show me what's next. Cause so I laughed and I was like, all right, God, like for me, God's my go-to. I'm like, I'm just turning it over to you. And I'm like, and I also kind of got in that moment. I also got in that moment that I had been doing stuff by myself. So I needed this wake up call to sit there and go, like it's not you. Remember, it's, you know, it's me up here. Like, you know, it's not you who's doing everything, Maryse. And so it had to be a wake up and a shake for me to sit there and go, right, right. And I have no idea. Maryse has no idea how to figure this one out. So can you just go ahead and I was like, you know, and I'll let everybody know. Just fix it. Will you fix this and fix it quickly, please? And then and then just like that, it was like one person suggested one thing. From there, I was like, okay, reached out to some people going, hey, anybody know of anybody? Great. From there, it was like, and then it was like, great, now you call this person, now you call. And then little do you know, things that felt so overwhelming, I just took on one step at a time, because we do need to be in action though, right? We, you know, there's the intention, there's a turnover, there's a surrender, and then there's the, okay, so how can we now shift and move things so that there can be a flow and an ease? And it came to the point that it is all handled and it's all taken care of, and it went from 10,000 to like 100. So amazing. And so it did that, and it was so effortless. I think I even told you, I was like, I don't know if it's real. Like, I don't know if it's really been handled. Like, I'm waiting for the IRS to come back and go, yeah, we cashed your check, but no. You know, like I was waiting for something like, could it be that easy? But when we really...
And how often do
yes.
we do that? Where we take the steps, but our energy is like,
like, you
wait,
sure?
But
wait, are you really that good? But yeah, but to trust, and that's one thing I also realized. But I looked at what worked, and it was like, okay, one, it was trusting, turning over, being clear with what I wanted, and then going, okay, guide me, and I will move the way you want me to move. And with that combination, things started shifting. So I know I went off topic from what you said. You were asking
no,
about...
you did not. This is really powerful, and I really want to stress something that you said about the importance of taking action. A lot of people think that and I'm not saying a lot, some people think that faith is a sitting back and waiting. And it is so not. Faith is action.
Yeah.
Action backed up by knowing that your faith is going to move mountains because you're moving.
Yes.
That's so important what you just said.
Yeah, creating that motion. And then that's where the flow and the ease comes through, right? But oftentimes we just sit back and go, okay, handle it. I'm just going to, now I gave it to you. And not to say, you know, I've had things happen that way too, but this flow and ease and velocity happens differently when we put ourselves in action, you know? So there is that power to it. But yeah, as far as shifting, like, so if you're in the midst of not always feeling like, hey, my life is perfect just as it is right now, just start with what are you grateful for? What is there in your life that you're grateful for? And then, and like I said, just slowly getting bigger and bigger and bigger, letting that expand. Like, so you can start with yourself, you know, like, hey, I woke up this morning. I woke up this morning. There are a lot of people who did not wake up this morning. I woke up this morning. I'm actually able to see and taste and smell and hear. Like, you can start with yourself in the biggest and smallest ways.
Absolutely.
And then go to your family, go to your communities, go to your, you know, just keep expanding like that. I don't know if have you ever done that meditation where you first start to think about the, like, one person who just has your heart shine, and then
the meta meditation from Vipassana.
Is it from Vipassana? I've never done Vipassana.
Yeah. It's from Goenkaji.
Yes. So that one, look it up. But that same type of thing, where that same ripple effect of just expanding from, you know, from yourself to your community to, you know, your country, to this world, to this galaxy. Like, just keep, you know, and in that, you know, understanding that the challenges are all there too. They're all there too, and they're just for a time and a period. And what I started to do as well is I started to look at things that at one point seemed so big for me and where I am now, you know? So like I said, I needed radical forgiveness during my pregnancy, and who I became on the other side of that, you know, it was just like, oh, right. Like, I need, like, the toughest of times. There's a reason I think childbirth isn't just like, hey, let's go have a baby, and here goes, the child just manifested. But there is a laboring process in it, you know, because there's some lessons really do need that birthing process, that laboring to have us really get it deep in our core, because some of our wounds are that deep in our core too, right? So there's some things that we've been carrying around for a long time, and sometimes it does take that.
And if you're alive during this time, be grateful for that, because we are alive in a very unique time where there's a lot of contrast and there's a lot of things going on in our personal lives, in our business, and in the world. I mean, the world is reflecting back that incongruency, that dissonance within us, right? So it's so important to be grateful for being alive during this particular time where you have so many resources within you and around you, technology, for example, right? To really be the difference, to really, and it doesn't matter if you don't have to be a coach, you don't have to be a speaker. It's about sharing your light. It's about standing in that light in such a way that it permeates everything around you. Right? And that's what I love about Maryse, that she carries this light with such ownership, and people feel it. They feel it when they're around her. They love being around her. You'll be zen the fuck out with this woman next to you, right? So important to be grateful for it all. I really love that you brought this to the forefront. Now, I have a question.
Wait, can I say something? Will you remember your question if I ask
Please.
you? So it's so interesting. As you were just saying that now, like, Michelle knows this about me. If y'all look at my Facebook feed, there's hardly any movement on here. Like
And people are
I
waiting
know.
for this
She's always
woman
like,
to
they're
go
waiting for
live.
you. I'm like, yeah. They'll be fine. Like, they don't need me. They don't need my voice. They don't need my light. They don't need, and I'm just like, no.
No, but wait a minute. I've seen people that go live and get like one viewer. I mean, it happened to me in the beginning. But Maryse goes live like once a year and she'll have like 30 people on. They're waiting for you. But go ahead.
So when you were just saying that, like, so this year I was like, okay, because I was like, all right, it's time. Like, I felt it didn't happen like on January 1st, but toward the end of last year, like, I already started to feel like there's a shift, there's something. And yeah, I don't get to be selfish. And I realize that's what I've been. Like, I've been selfish. And so I'm just like, because it's uncomfortable. Like I told Michelle before we went on live, I was like, I'm not going to think about this. I'll probably be sweating profusely the 5 minutes before we go live. And then I'll just be present with her. So it'll be fine when we're live. All will be well in the world. But I like avoid it like the plague. I avoid lives. I avoid posting. I don't, I'm just, and I realize like I'm just selfish with my sharing, and I love being inspired by others. But then I realized how selfish I've been. So when you were saying that right now, I know that it's been resonating with me. And for anybody who's listening, it's like people are waiting for you. People are waiting for you. And I think sometimes we don't really take on our ownership of who we are. And so I'm sitting here saying, yeah, like, can we realize how perfect we are now? But in that, so then what do we want to share? Like, what is it that we want to share with whoever we come in contact, whether it be Facebook Live, whether it be, the barista, whether it be, whoever it is that, you catch eyes with, who you are able to connect with in any way, shape, or form. Like, how do we get to make it a better place? And I think that's like the whole point of understanding how perfect we are in this moment and how perfect it is in this moment isn't to sit back and go, oh, my life is perfect, so I'm just going to sit back and relax now. But it's like, so now what? So now what are we called to do? And so now what it is. And it's funny what we do, especially the smart rats out there, right? I'll sit there and I'll listen to the people. Like, I can have all these inspiring people like Michelle going, everybody's waiting for you. And I'll be like, yeah, okay, whatever. But then I'll have that one person who will say like, nobody cares. Everybody does Facebook Lives. And I'll be like, that's right. Nobody does care. So I don't have to do it. It doesn't matter that all these other people were like, come on, Maryse, go, go, go. I just wait for that one person who's going to validate my reason for not doing it, right? And what does that serve? And who does that serve, really? Right? So
Right. Stop hoarding your life.
exactly.
Stop hoarding your life. Stop staying behind the laptop. Stop holding back, waiting for permission, waiting to feel important enough, waiting to feel like you have value.
Yeah.
I hear from so many clients and people all around say, yeah, but I don't have value. What can I offer people? And I'm just like, what? Come on now. You have wisdom and experience and a story that is unique to you. And I really want to stress this, and I'm so happy that you brought this, babe, because as we dive deeper into our purpose and as we start activating our medicine, the soul clients, you have soul clients. And I'm going to use this example. And I've shared this with you before, how, how there's a dog whistle that you blow on
Only
it and the
dogs
dog
hear
hears
it.
it? You have a soul whistle. You have a soul whistle that directly reaches your soul clients. But it's only going to happen when you man the fuck up and put your big prints on and show up. And these people that are your soul clients will never be activated to the point because they're waiting on you. And vice versa with us, right? Like, there are people that have been you as well. There's so many people that have activated my medicine because they have stepped the fuck up. So stop waiting, guys. You have no idea what impact, how you can influence people. Do it. Share what's on your heart. It's medicine for people.
Yeah, somebody's listening. Somebody needs it. Like, if it's in your mind, if it's in your heart, and you're even debating like whether you should, like, that's a yes. Like, it's on your heart for a reason. It's in your heart for a reason. It's in your mind for a reason. Like, share it, whatever it is, however you do it.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing that to the light. My last question, I've been asking all of our speakers, what are your top 2 to 3 tips, secrets on creating and having an epic year?
Well, I guess we've touched on the gratitude part. Like, so for me, gratitude is everything. Gratitude is everything. And by doing that, it also automatically connects me to, it gets me out of my ego, right? Because it reminds me that I have not done this, like everything, it's this partnership. It's this partnership I have with God that has created these blessings in my life, right? So, so that's a big thing, is gratitude. And I know we talked about being grateful for self, but like a part 2 of that is to really take a moment every day to own like who you are for the people in your life, right? So to really sit there, and I think so often it's easy to just keep going. We do what we do, and we're warriors and we're soldiers, and we move and we do da 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 da. But if we stop and sit there and go, yeah, and I'm a phenomenal mother, and I'm an amazing daughter, and I'm a loving, courageous, beautiful woman, like whatever it is for you, like sit there and go, yeah, and I'm open and I'm grounded and I'm, and for that to just give thanks for all of who you are, like just as you are, like the perfection of who you are. I think that right there has us step into our light in a way that is really, it's just very powerful, and it's an empowered way. And then move, like get into movement, move that body. If you paint, like whatever it is that you need to do, that's your way of expressing yourself, like move. If it's, I just need to get in action and whatever, there is no right answer here. There's no wrong answer here. It's whatever resonates for you, but start to, create that flow of action, like create the movement. So whatever it is that you want to create in your life, we need to have the flow moving with stuff. And in that, it's like, so create movement. You love yoga, do yoga. You love dance, do dance. You want to run around the block or walk, go for a brisk walk, whatever it is. You want to paint something, you want to, paint a bicycle. Like, I don't care. Like, just do something where all of a sudden, you're in it. And personally, I'm taking on journaling and writing, because I'm starting to see, actually you've had me see like the power in that, in like the new moon things that you're always like, here and now create this, and I'm like, okay, let me write this, and then I'm like, oh wow, it's happened. Okay, all right, I've got to give you some testimonials. Yeah, yeah, it's powerful. But so I'm realizing, like, and also when I'm the type of person that when I go through things like the tougher moments in life, I go quiet. So if you're that type of person, and so my friends have to do like psycho evaluations, like, Maryse has gone quiet, hold on, anyone heard from, like Michelle's like, you were quiet again, stop vanishing. And I'm like, well, I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, you know me, I go quiet if I'm going through it. I don't reach out. But that's the thing about the writing and the movement. It's like, so even if I don't feel like I can verbally express, right, even if my 5th chakra sometimes gets a little bit like, can we move? Can we push through things? Can we still create that flow? And yes, the other thing, the community of people around you. Community is everything. The people that you have in your circle, the people that you go to for counsel, whatever that is, whether it be your friends or your coaches, whoever you have. I remember when we used to coach in those programs, they, one of the trainers said to me, like, if you don't have the money to go pay for all these things and volunteer and coach, like whatever it is, but like have someone coach you, like the value of just having good people in your life for whatever it is. So whether it be your friends, like I'm blessed to have you and a circle of friends that I can, it's like, it's everything for me. It's everything. 'Cause it's like, oh, yeah. Like I called two of my girlfriends up this morning, and it was supposed to be one thing, and from there instead it was like it was just like all these vibrations were lifting, and we're just like, yes, and then there's this, and there's this, and da 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 da, and it was like, what a way to start a Friday, like, you know. But so it's like the circles are everything.
I love that you brought the community piece, because I'm always in awe of my friends,
Me
right?
too.
I'm always like, oh my God, like I attract the most
Me
amazing
too.
people. And you were there at my wedding, and I had a major breakthrough where I really got to have a breakthrough in receiving love.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm loved, but it was very like conceptual. I know I'm loved. I was sharing this with one of the speakers who moved me to tears, another dear friend of mine, where she was saying that same thing, that she had a breakthrough in receiving love, and she knows she's loved. But I was like, at my wedding, just looking at all these epic human beings, and I felt so loved and cared and protected. So it's so important to put yourself in the environments, the relationships, the circles that become oxygen to your fire, because that is priceless.
It really is.
And sometimes people in our lives that are not happy with where they're at may get triggered by your love and light, may get triggered by your steps where you're at. However, keep on fucking shining.
Yeah.
Because I had a breakthrough recently where I noticed a pattern, babe, where I was like going in, shining bright, and then I would dim my light around people that I felt were not as supportive or were not at the places they wanted to be. And there's no healing in that. There's no evolution in that. So the breakthrough for me was to keep on shining, shine as bright as my heart is calling me to. And they get to deal with it, or they get to step aside if they can't hold space for me. And I just wrote a post this morning on what to do when family and friends do not support your work. Because I was getting caught up on like, wow, the people that are sharing my lives, the people that are sharing my post are amazing people. But what's happening with my friends and my family that they're not sharing? When I was getting caught up in that victim mindset, and I was like, well, no, wait a minute. This is the breakthrough for me. This is the breakthrough to keep on shining and allowing my light to help evolve them, to help evolve us both in healing whatever fragment is taking place, you know?
Yeah, and I think what you said is so important. So if you're not sure about the people in your life, like what I mean by that is like if you're, just notice how you feel, right? So notice if you're shining bright, or you have to kind of be quiet about your dreams, your visions, your wants, your desires, right? Like, are people there rooting for you? Because for the longest time, I'd be like, yeah, I don't want to post stuff. I don't post stuff personally on Facebook. And a lot of people are like, you know, the people who are very personal to me are like, are you hiding me? And I'm like, no, of course not. But I had this thing, I had this racket going on in my head going, I don't know if everybody's really wishing me well. So I was like, so I don't know if I want to put all my stuff out there, because is everybody on my team? Like, is everybody celebrating me? Like, is everybody really happy for me? And if not, I didn't want the other energy there either. So I'm like, I'm just going to, and I was like, but think about it. I was like, everybody who I love knows all the stuff in my life. I was like, the people who I love, who are my ride or die, I was like, they know everything that goes on in my life in all the different areas. I was like, you know, and other people who I just don't know. I just don't know. And so, and I think we do that in life, right? Like we try to protect ourselves, and then we're forgetting like how bright we are and how light we are, and that, and how none of that can, I guess, really impact us is what I'm realizing right now. Like there's no need to like dim any of it, like you said. There's no need to dim the light. There's no need to dim any part of it. Like whether whether other people are for you or not, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's you being for you. And then, like you said, people will resonate around you accordingly. People will come around you, and the people who will fall away, you know? And people are in our lives for a season sometimes, and that is okay too.
And learning when that season is up. Sometimes I'll get attached to
Yeah, me
people,
too.
right? And I want them in my life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like holding on for dear
Yeah.
life. And we really get to discern and become aware
Yeah.
of when that season is up. And it's okay. They may come around
Yeah.
again. But if it's not serving you, if they're not oxygen to your fire, move on
Yeah.
and focus on you, focus on your purpose, focus on what you want, and let that be at the forefront. And you'll see things start changing radically.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
So love this combo. I so love this combo. So where can people stay connected to you? I'm also going to put your website on the comments.
Thank you.
How can they connect with you? How can they reach you?
So yeah, I'm not so great on social media, and I'm working on that. Hey, however, if you can, I guess message me. I'll see that, and then I'll reach out to everybody who reaches out, and then we can vibe and see what it is that if you feel that if in this conversation, if anybody is just like, I think maybe she would understand something or get it or hear me out, or if there's something about her, by all means, just feel free to reach out, even if you don't know why you're reaching out. Like something's just telling you to reach out. We'll figure it out, right? And then we can take it from there. So if there's any reason that you're feeling called to, just message me. My name is up there somewhere, I'm sure. So you can message me and I'll check that out. And then we'll connect some way, somehow. And yeah, my website's there. She'll put that in the link.
Please connect to this epic queen.
Thank
she is
you.
amazing. She is so powerful. Her medicine is so potent. And she is a master space holder, a
Thank
witch,
you.
an epic coach. And how she does it with such compassion and grace is so powerful. So definitely connect with her. I love her to pieces. She is one of my dearest friends. And I'm so grateful to say that. I'm so grateful for your presence
Thank
in
you,
my
Mama.
life. You know how much I love you, how much I love
I know you
TT.
do.
And yeah.
Oh, also, if anybody, just now as I'm sitting here talking to you, it popped into my head, so I guess I need to say it. If anybody wants or feels like they're curious about their chakras and wants an alignment or to see where they are, if anything's out of alignment, and I can do that virtually. So if anybody wants to, again, they can message me and we can set up something and we can go through the chakras. If you don't know what they are, I can explain them, and then we can just see if anything's out of balance. It pretty much, they govern all the different areas of our lives. So sometimes, even if we're stressed out about family or finances, there's a way to ground ourselves to rebalance things so that we can keep moving forward. So yeah, so.
And she's done it on me. I totally can testify. She knows how to clear your shit, clear all your chakras, and like really bring you into your center within minutes. It's so amazing.
Yeah. Thanks, Mama.
Thanks, Mama, for being a part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us. Thank you for sharing your medicine with us. And let's rock this 2019. Thank you so much for everyone that jumped on, that stayed on. Thank you for sharing it. I really want to honor you because this is a conversation. This is a conversation on what it takes to create an epic year. If you haven't signed up, creatingyour2019.com. You'll get daily freebies from all the experts. You'll get so much content. And I just want to say we have one more interview today at 7 p.m. with the amazing Emily Gallagher
Nice.
from Conscious Boss. She is a beast, and I can't wait to jam with her. And again, Mama, thank you so much.
Thank you. And again, for anybody who has, like, if you haven't signed up yet for all of what Michelle's talking about, you ought to, because, we're friends and she'll have stuff and I'm like, well, I'll try it. And the results that I've had in my life, like, pretty outstanding. Yeah, no, really, truly, I'm forever grateful. Forever grateful.
Thanks, babe.
Yeah, so.
Love you guys. Oh, and Maryse and I,
And right.
which you'll be having another expert next week, which is also a dear friend of mine. We are hosting a retreat in Dominican Republic in amazing, one of the top 10 beaches in the world. So much nature, butterflies. It's magical. It truly is magical. It's called The Metamorphosis, and you will be blown away about how you transformed during those days. And I'll post a link to that as well. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, Mama.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.